Percent of the time, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's not. It
Gets the people going.
You are now listening to Diagnonsense.
Then we would just be idiots saying nonsense.
With Kurt Honack.
Damn it.
And Isaac Smolden.
I am also here.
The People's Paper came out today. Shout out to Josh Freifogel, and there was an article at the very bottom of it that said, Big Pharma is destroying America or coming for America by John Doe. And I'm not saying that Kurt is John Doe, but I'm just saying I've never seen Kurt and John Doe in the same room.
We may be kindred spirits. I have to read the article. But yeah, from the title, it sounds like we're already on the same page. So.
Big Pharma Sucks by Hurt Konak.
Hurt Konak?
Hurt Konak. Who could that be?
He's hurt.
Welcome to Diagnonsense. It is Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving, Kurt.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is, I really enjoy Thanksgiving. I know that can be a challenging holiday for a lot of folks. I mean, we've got our big Thanksgiving dinner here today from 12 to 4, which is what I was telling some of our clients yesterday is, you know what, if you're not planning on doing anything big for Thanksgiving with your biological family, then come and hang out with us for 4 hours today, because I think ultimately we want to be focusing on the connectedness that we have each other with people that we choose as our family. And if you choose your biological family as your family, great. And if you have your found family, then it's still important to spend time with them. So I thought we would just do something real quick. We talked about, you and I, Kurt, talked about how we wanted to offer some more solutions, focus on some good stuff, because usually we spend a lot of time talking about Apocalypse Now and and all the problems that we got.
The dark side.
The dark side. So, Kurt, what is one thing that you are grateful for this Thanksgiving week?
Music, for sure. Seems like no matter what's going on in my life, music is cathartic. I know that's probably been a running theme for our podcast, especially with Josh coming on, but music can be present in your life no matter what's going on at any time. And so that's probably the really big thing that when I think about like stuff that is useful, to me year round or whatever.
You brought in your 7-string today as well?
I did. Yeah. I feel like I need to bust it out because it's pretty sick.
Bust it out.
It's okay.
I mean, it's an audio podcast, but bust it out anyway. I'll describe it for the audience. You've got a case and there's heart with bats on it, and then there's like apocalyptic skeleton-looking dude on the other side. Matte black guitar, of course, because it's Kurt. And then it just looks like a normal guitar, except that there's a random extra string coming off coming off the far side of it.
It's a 7-string.
So I know, okay, so it's E, A, D, G, B, E, and then what's the 7th string?
That's standard tuning. And I believe on the 7 at the bottom is
standard
the 7th.
Tuning. Kurt's tuning is a little more metal than that.
That's standard tuning. This is tuned to it's drop A with the 7th.
Okay.
The 7th string is drop. So you can always drop the bottom string, right? So standard tuning, yeah. E, A, D, G, B, E. And then on the 7th, there's a B string on top, remember correctly. I've been down tuning it, right? So mine's tuned to A. So you down tune because when you play open, like if you play the bottom 3, you're getting a power chord without having to fret anything. So
if you're sitting on your porch playing blues,
if you're playing Korn, they drop their tuning even further. But I'm still like learning the tunings, right? So like on a standard, you can on a 6, right? You don't have that 7th bottom string, and so like you can go, you can drop the E string to D, and so your bottom 3 on a 6 are power chords. That's like the beautiful people, right? You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Not only is Kurt's guitar matte black, by the way, but it has these bat inlays all the way up the fretboard.
Dude, I mean,
like he is a vampire apocalyptic Warhammer miniature that has a guitar that shoots flames out of it.
Yeah. No Chaos Space Marines, dude. But no, I just enjoy playing it just because of its aesthetic. The 7th string is really like you can get, if we were on an amp, you can get some like really like, black metals uneasy sounding, and you can get some like out of the lower strings, you can get some really uneasy sounding chords.
Here's the first thing I'm thankful for. Kurt has this CD van, the client navigation van, that the first time I ever drove clients, I took it out and it was playing Price CCR. It was probably playing Fortunate Son, I think, is track number 1, because you gotta start it off hot. And I was like, man, what CD is this? Is this just like an old CCR CD? That's crazy. And I pull it out. In Sharpie is written Kurt's Apocalypse Jams, and then underneath that, in quotation marks, it says #Vietnow. And you know what, Kurt? I'm thankful for that CD because
like
the radio's
that?
been broken in the van for 6 months. But when I'm driving back from housing, from dropping clients off for a movie night or a game night or something, and I'm coming back here, sometimes you just need to jam out to Black Sabbath when you're driving through downtown Wasilla stuck in traffic.
There's definitely an energy of that era that I tried to capture into that CD. So,
It's a good mixtape.
There's Johnny Cash on there too, and then the one that I wish I would have put on there was These Boots Were Made for Walking. That one, I forget who. It's like I don't even listen to that.
Is that a
era.
Dolly song? I think it might be a Dolly Parton song.
Sounds like it.
No? Okay. See, this is why we have a production
why we
manager
have
now. See, this is why
This is
now
why
that we
you
have a
need a
production
sidekick.
manager, we won't pronounce the director of Apocalypse Now's name wrong, and I'm kind of afraid to say it because
I'm
I think
afraid to
Roger's
say
going to
it.
rip me again for
Yeah,
it.
no, I don't want to have a Freudian slip or
I
whatever.
think it's Coppola, right? Is it
Don't say
Coppola?
it, don't say it out loud.
Tell me who it is.
Nancy
Sinatra?
Probably.
Nancy. That sounds
Man,
it
we're
sounds like
gonna
the
we're
right
gonna get
person,
ripped
but-
again, Kurt. We're gonna get
Yeah,
ripped again because Roger or someone else is gonna come up to us and like, you don't know Nancy Sinatra or Nancy? It's actually pronounced Sinatra.
Yeah.
It's Nancy Sinatra, and she sang all
Well,
these songs that you don't know about.
I didn't listen to that.
You kids with your matte black guitars and your.
I didn't listen to that much music in that era, so I'm not as familiar.
I'm gonna get destroyed for saying it was a Dolly song. So
Yeah.
I'll take the heat on that one.
She
Yeah.
was married twice to this guy named Tommy Sands and Hugh Lambert or something.
Okay,
Sands.
that's so out of our
Dun,
era,
dun,
though.
dun, dun, dun.
It's like so like I'm like I don't know any of these people.
In the 1960s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
no, not
It's too
catching
far.
that. Not catching
Too
that.
far. The only 60s, like, so I know the popular songs, right? But like the only lore that I dig into is like, Black Sabbath and like, of course the ones that heavily influence metal.
Do you got a mic?
I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
There you go.
You ever heard of Dope Throne?
I haven't.
It's really good. It's doom metal.
Okay. Is it like newer?
I don't know actually, but I've been
Okay.
listening to it. It's so good. Highly recommended. I really like black metal too.
The last album that I got was Black Tongue. It was Nadir, I think. That was so heavy.
while we're talking about metal, you would have been proud of me, Kurt. We were getting a lot of work done yesterday, and I was like, man, I just need something. I need to turn on the crazy music, right? So
crazy
I went to
music.
Spotify and I just typed in, the playlist was entitled Workout Music for Doom Guy.
Yeah.
And it was just like every Doom soundtrack song
That's-
like on
yeah.
a loop. So I was just chilling back here, and like Julia came into the studio. She's like, what are you listening to? And it was just like, it was a little intense, not gonna lie.
That's Mick Gordon, and he
Love Mick Gordon.
Yeah, Doom 2016, man, on the radar for everybody, because it was like you turned on the Flesh and Metal with buildup. That thing just sounds like you're in a washing machine, an amphetamine fueled washing machine. It's like,
Which is also the
of
title of
Chainsaw.
Kurt's memoir that's coming out next month. A amphetamine-fueled washing machine by Kurt Konak.
I don't know how to describe it. It's got the industrial pieces, but then it's also got like I think he used like an 8-string guitar in there. It's just like ridiculous amount of growl on the whole thing.
gosh.
It's just like, oh my God.
What else are you thankful for this Thanksgiving, Kurt?
Oh, I love what I do. I think we do really cool stuff. I mean, being able to advocate for mental health is awesome, and feeling like I have some control over like what I do and what I contribute to. I think that's like huge. That's important to feel like your life has meaning outside of it's a monetary thing, because I think like everybody needs some kind of outlet where it's not just like I need to make the donuts, although that can be fun too in its own way. Like there's I think people that have like an entrepreneurial mindset really like figuring that out. It's like a puzzle, right? It's like, well, how do I make profit? How do I do this? But I do like the compassionate side of what we do, and I do like focusing on a mission that's more than just how do we increase our sales from week to week. I mean, it can be kind of meditative, right? I worked retail. Your brain isn't, you don't have to think about any, existentially. It's not as consuming when you're a worker. Maybe not when you're, higher up.
I was having this conversation yesterday. We were in here, the Doom music was blaring, right? And someone said, man, this is so hard. And I went, storming the beaches in Normandy was hard. I'm posting a TikTok right now. I said, I actually don't think that this is that hard comparatively speaking. I'm not wading onto the sands of Iwo Jima. I am posting a TikTok. By the way, we have a TikTok and YouTube Shorts now, and we're clipping all the podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Follow us on TikTok, Kurt.
Okay, will do.
If you
I have
one.
to download it, but yeah,
or maybe don't. Maybe the Chinese will steal all your information. I'm not here to talk about that. But if
scanning globalism, ship everything to China. The frogs.
Ozzy, can you cut his mic really quick? He needs to go on time. We made too many Alex Jones references, and audio software stopped recording. We had to restart again because we flew too close to the sun. But something that I am grateful for is that we live in this time in human history where it is the norm for us to have running water inside our house, which for thousands and thousands and thousands of years of recorded human history is something that people would have killed for, the ability to just turn on the tap and have clean drinking water. And now for the last just tiny little bit of history, we've had that, at least in North America.
Right.
Even though, I think we focus on the news on a lot of the stuff that is, really horrible and this has never happened and it's all going to hell in a handbasket. It's like I am thankful in part for modern technology and a little bit thankful for big pharma, for modern medicine. Not like all the way thankful, but only for the good doctors. We're thankful for the good doctors.
We're thankful for the good doctors. That's kind of where we left off. And then I was going, that's always been a dilemma, is like technological innovation can be used for good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's where I was going, was like, yes, thankful I have the wisdom to recognize the difference between progress and, yes, things innovate, but it's still important to have like moral context, and thankful that I understand that, I guess.
Yeah.
Thankful that we have technology, but
thankful that you're not on the side of the gene stealer cult.
Yeah, not on the dark side.
I was listening to an hour-long lore video on all the different 40K factions because I try to relate to you, Kurt.
Yes.
And I got to the Tyranids talking and about the. I mean, I don't know. The Tyranids, my closest thing that I can relate it to is like the Flood from Halo, because that's more of my thing. And they infect the humans, and then the humans end up like worshiping the hive mind instead of worshiping the Empire, making them heretics, and they need to be cleansed with holy fire. That made me think about when you're talking about some of the psychotropics that are out there actually changing the biology of your brain is akin to this Tyranid gene-stealing cult that I'm learning about from Warhammer 40K.
We might be going back into Alex Jones territory, but no. What I like about in the science fiction, like the Zerg and the Tyranid, right, is that they're like biologically driven. Mm-hmm. So they don't do things like in that sense. It's like their species doesn't have a social framework for good and evil, because they don't function within like higher intellectual concepts, right? And so like you view them and it's in their nature to do what they do.
They're like neutral chaotic or something.
Yeah, they're like evolutionarily driven to do that. And when I think you look at like drug pathology and like can change you, like I mean I remember when I was using substances, like misusing them, right? Like it changes your wiring to like revolve around like one thing, or can, right? So like really gives you sympathy for like, I don't know why I drew that analogy, because it's almost like people are going to be like, so you think I'm a Zergling? No, it's not that. It's more like, it's hard to judge in, like, let's say in the wild, right? You're observing nature, and like one creature hurts another one, and you're like, man, that's, from a human perspective, because we understand malice, it's like, that's terrible, but the creatures aren't doing it out of malice. They're doing it out of like survival, and they don't even have a concept of like extract the suffering from another organism, Right. So I have sympathy for the Zerglings. That could be a song.
You're grateful for Zerglings? Sympathy for the Zerglings.
No.
Check out Kurt's new EP, Sympathy for the Zerglings, played on his 7-string guitar.
Sympathy for the devil, But no, we were talking about Apocalypse Now and like biological determinism and how like when you're put in situations where you no longer have like social fabric and like you're being threatened, your framework for like how you operate isn't in the context of like, you know, higher thinking. It's not like I'm going to write an essay before I decide to survive this situation. It's like I'm being forced into this situation and it's molding me through the environment. Right. So
Turkeys, zerglings, chemicals in the water that are turning the friggin' frogs gay.
I heard he released a game.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to play it.
You don't want to play it.
I don't. The further away I can stay from that mind, I think the better better we're gonna end up as a whole.
It is its own subculture.
It's something. It's something. If you don't understand our Alex Jones references, good. The internet hasn't corrupted every
You still have
iota of your brain
intact.
yet.
Yeah. Brain.
But the
matter.
memes back in 2015, man, they were
heavy. They're still heavy.
They still were.
Yeah.
Different time. Vine was still around. Kurt, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed our combination of Warhammer 40K references, Doom music, and Turkey Day.
Yeah.
What's your final takeaway from this, man? Where
I feel like we need to have a third host. We need to get some feminine energy in there because that's all.
Linda's
like
coming on next week to
male.
cure us.
Yeah, male.
We've gone
hobby
beyond
corner.
we've gone beyond the pale.
Yeah, we're in the male hobby corner.
The
right
next
now.
guest is either Linda to fix that, or we're just gonna bring Ian on.
Okay.
And I won't
And we're
tell you
gonna go
which one
full-
we're gonna just.
We're just gonna go.
Yeah, we're just gonna go. I won't tell you which one it is.
Okay.
So
Well, that would. I mean, we might come full circle if we go, because Ian's definitely a 40K fan. So I think he might know more than I do. About
Ian
the universe.
probably, man. Ian would have been all over those.
Yeah.
Ian has maybe the best Alex Jones impression that I've heard.
Oh,
ever
does
heard.
he? Okay.
And he's been asking me to bring it on the podcast for years and years. And he's going to listen to me do mine. And he's probably going to be a little bit upset that I didn't call him in specifically to do that in my place.
Right.
So, well, at some point we're going to give Ian a chance, but we'll probably have to make slightly less Alex Jones references so we don't get demonetized.
Demonetized. We'll get removed from the internet.
Yeah. Maybe just a whole episode where Ian breaks down all the 40K factions for us.
Yeah.
Or what faction of 40K is Ian, do you think?
Is Ian like personality wise?
Yeah, personality wise.
Oof. That's like, I mean, because none of them are real good. The Tau are the only ones that are really like morally okay.
Right.
I think, and even if you read the history, it's like, well, that part of that's because they do like social brainwashing. So
Yeah. They're
So,
kind of
like-
like the Covenant
Yeah.
from Halo / maybe like Imperial Japan from history is the vibe that I get a little
I
bit.
feel like Ian's like an Imperial guardsman.
Well,
definitely.
I was going to say
He's-
Adepticus.
Adepticus.
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh, like tech priests? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The ones that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely
know.
in the Imperium somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in the Imperium, man. And you, Kurt, are.
He's definitely Adeptus Mechanicus. You're right.
Yeah. See.
He
Okay,
is,
I thought
yeah.
so.
You're right.
They have like the weird like machine god. I could just totally see Ian as like a half human, half robot, like
cyborg
machine priest.
machine priest.
Yeah.
It's like, well, technically it's heresy, but we'll allow it since we have like 20 other enemies.
Technically it's heresy, but you make all of our guns, so guess it's fine.
Guess we're on the same side.
Guess we're on the same side. Worship your weird machine spirit, adept. Okay. That's too many 40K references.
There's
for
too
one
many.
episode.
Yeah.
For a Thanksgiving
I'm
episode.
glad we were feeling it though.
Okay, shut it down.
Okay, shut it down.